Welcome back to Bbpn. I'm your host Cadet Tank, and with the World Cup just around the corner, we have round 2 action in NATTS, where people start to fight for their playoff seeds. So we have all the usual casters, plus, you know it, the round 2 action of the Hooligan Division that will be covered by the Scum himself. So, without further ado, let's jump into this with Panda in the MCC.
Good evening, ghouls and goblins. You like the black drop, huh? Yeah, it's kind of nice. Kind of nice. We'll have to do some adjustments. I see a little creepies on the side here, but that's all right. So, round 2's underway, right? Who'd have thought it? I do want to take a moment before we get really going to thank our sponsors, Goblin Gaming, as well as Spike, Nesquig, Block and Dodger, Scavengers, McMurdy's, and Orchidus. They sent me this wonderful bottle of Croxiade. You see that? Look at all them sponsors. It's amazing how big Bbpn's blown up. Thank you, Cadet, for keeping us on staff, fed, and look at all these deals I bought us. We're staying in business. We'll be here next season. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the teams we got going for round 2, shall we? All right, so in the MCC, we have Finhill with the ankle slashers. No good. Skaven coming in at 1370. Oh, dang you, Windows Firewall. Go away. Nobody likes you. All right, ankle slashers. Let's take a look. Sneak, fast, fight, cheat, win. He's got a motto. He's got ankle slashers. He's got a roger. I disapprove. Get rid of the roger. No one likes him. Oh, lordy. Look at that. So, Storm Vermin come along nicely. Block Mighty Blow. He's got block on the roger already. Make him go away. He's got Wrestle Diving Tackle on the Gutter Runner. See, I don't know if I like Diving Tackle on the Gutter Runner. People are not going to dodge away from a Gutter Runner. People are going to punch a Gutter Runner. Granted, you have Raj, but, you know, it's a thing. People want to punch them, not dodge away from them. So I don't know if I agree with that, but hey, it's good. He's a Gutter Runner. He levels up quick. You got a natural one-turner. He's got his MA10 and Sprint and Sure Feet. Look at that. He's got block on the thrower, kick on the meat bag. I appreciate the names. I appreciate it very much. This is great. 6 fan factor, 2 rerolls. Hasn't felt the need for the 3rd, but why would you? You already have block and dodge. Like, your rerolls aren't going to be spent on these things. Like, 2 is probably alright. He's got a deep bench, but I don't know how I feel about that. I might have went 13 with the line rats because they tend to get hurt, and then you're putting people with skills on the line, and you never ever want to do that. But it's a good-looking team from Finhill. Daffo with the Norse at 1290. Oh, he's got an AG4 runner. He's got guard, and he's got jump up on both. He's building out killer pieces. He's got strength up and tackle on alignment. He's got mighty blow. He's got 2 throwers. So watch out for the passing game. 3 rerolls, 1 APO, 6 fan factor. Pretty good build. AG up's really good on the runner. It's hard to say. AG4 is really great to have, especially on an AV7 team. I just wish it was on another piece and not one with Dauntless that you're going to be using getting up in some people's faces. But he doesn't have any control over that. This looks good. I like how the team's coming along. Let's see who they beat up next. Scar. With the Bretts. Your resident hero of the void. We are here to help with revenge. Excellent. He's got a theme going. He's 14 deep. He's got fend. He's got kick. Stand firm, strip ball, guard. Dodge, dodge, dodge. Sure hand. So, any of you strip ball players out there, that's definitely going to be the ball handler. Good looking team. 3 rerolls, but he's only got 2 fan factor, so he's going to lose most of the kickoff events, assuming fans don't go his way, but with some people at 5, 6, 7 fan factor, that's going to be hard. Like +5 on a 2d6 will generally push you above whatever he's going to have +2. But apart from that, I like the team. I like the deep bench. I've been fouled by Kord, as you've all seen in the Game of the Week, so this is pretty impressive. It's a good-looking team. I'm glad you made it, Scar. But my cadet found my bike. What is this team doing here? What's going on? So they're elves. I got a miss next on Scar's namesake, the Dead Brat Society. Big Grin, what's my dwarf again, has -MA, so he's definitely pulling line duty. They got double guard and MA up on a catcher. So I don't like the MA up on the guard catcher. Obviously, we'd like him to go to an actual one-turner piece or close to a one-turner piece, but you got to take it where you get it. Guard, I don't necessarily like either, but elves need guard, and it is what it is. Double tackle on the War Dancers. Probably should have taken sidestep on the other one beforehand, but there was some dodgy games coming up, and the coach probably felt he needed to tackle a little bit more. We got a Lino with dodge, and he's got 160k in the bank, so he's going to burn some of that off. Got a nice team theme going on. 3 rerolls, 1 Epo, 4 fan factor. So yeah, it looks good. I would personally like to see the team a little farther along with the third catcher grabbing a level. This is disappointing that this catcher got movement busted in the last game, but is what it is. AB7, people get punched and die. We got another Norse coming in at 1300. Ooh, the Yeti is out. That's going to be rough. Yeti's good. Yeti's going to be a big piece there, especially for a deeper roster, which this looks like it is. I like the dance theme. Oh, man. Let's see. So AG4 lineman. I don't know if I would have taken the AG up on the lineman, honestly. Yeah, it's really hard to pass up, but again, you don't want it on a non-critical piece like that. And when's the next time this line is going to level? Like, you have to give him the ball now. So you've got double dirty player. My favorite setup. He's going to foul his butt off. He took fend, which is interesting. I guess it fits with the theme of taking blocks. If they get hit, they can't get followed up on. He's got double mighty blow, but 0 tackle whatsoever. So Skaven elves, any kind of dodge is gonna be scooting through. Even with the block, though, like they're not gonna be giving up much blocks. So this is gonna be hard to do without the tackle. And with the Yeti gonna be out, Claw doesn't do much on the elves, but the disturbing presence is gonna be the big one. So we'll see what happens and how he fares in the coming days. Warecaster with Nurgle at 1490. They beefed up a little bit. Alright, look at that. Mighty blow, guard, dodge, block, jump up, mighty blow. So he's going to try to win by man advantage. He's got the skills. I don't know if I would have taken double dodge here. I might have taken a sure hands Prestigore, especially if you're coming up against strip ball, which we've seen quite a bit of in this division. But yeah, the team looks fairly skilled up. I'd like to see some more on the Warriors, but you can't force the level ups on them like you can with Chaos, as they're only AG2, so it's a 50% handoff. Team looks good. Theme's good. He's got 4 rerolls, which seems to be a little bit excessive given the amount, but he doesn't have blocks, so I guess he feels like he needs it. He's at 6 fan factor, and obviously no APO, because when they die, they double die. Oh, my boy, Tasserin. Hi, Tasserin. Coming in at 1190 with the Dark Elves. Block, guard. Jump up. Oh, he's got a AG5 elf. This abomination will have to die. He's got double guard pieces, which is great. Elves desperately need the guard. Oh, looks like the Goblin camera assistant is taking me out of focus. He doesn't have 12 players. He's underskilled, I would say, for where he's at. The AG5 might be able to make up for it if he's able to protect them. He does have kick to dictate where the ball's going to go, but he does have slower movement than, say, Skaven or Wood Elf. So let's see how it plays out for TAS. The team is alright, but like I said, I'd like to see a little bit more development as they are elves. But, yeah. Good times. He's going to be out of Blitzer for his next game. And we have everybody's favorite returning champion, Superfed. Hit me, baby, one more time, with no team motto. That's depressing. Mighty Blow, guard. Mighty Blow, tackle, guard. Movement up, block, block. So, he's definitely going to be doing some punching. He's been playing them aggressive all season. He's got to be happy with the skills. He's got all 4 blitzers with level ups, 1 with 2. He's got a couple killers going. He's got the guard assists. He's got the movement catcher up to 7 with Blodge, and another catcher with Blodge. So things are looking really good. He probably wants to pick up another dirty player and maybe one more tackle piece, but this team looks really good, especially coming in at 5. He's got 5 fan factor, 183 rerolls, and 160 in the bank as well. So team looks really good. There's a lot of ways he can go with this, and I wouldn't be surprised if you guys see him in the playoffs, assuming all of the AV7 doesn't die. So that's where we're at with the team overview. What I'd like to do is take a look at the first match day schedule. Spoiler alert, one of these games has already been played, at least, possibly 2. So Dances with Ulf's already lost to Ugly Side of Disney 0-2. I play the Dark Elves. Scar comes up against the Skaven. So that's going to be an interesting game. And the Volga Opera versus Hit Me Baby One More Time. I'm going to give Superfed the advantage due to Blodge over just straight block. There was very little tackle to be had on either Norse team. I will take the Skaven over the Apothecaries as they cheat win. This is hard. I'm going to give the advantage to TAS. I got to take him over myself. Yours truly, the Panda. Everybody loves me. This is a grudge match. Cadet Found My Bike lost to the Bacteriophiles. And they're going to be out looking for blood. I don't know if they're going to be in it to win it or just cripple the other elf team. So, let's see what happens there. Dances with... so Super gets... The Amazons get back-to-back Norse games. I'm going to take Super. I think his Blodge is going to come out on top versus both Norse teams. Cadet Found My Bike versus the Ugly Side of Disney. It's going to be difficult for the elves. They're going to need a few more skill ups to actually contend with the mess that is Nurgle. And they also pretty much restrict the passing game, assuming position's correctly done. Scar versus Tasrin. I'm going to go ahead and take Tasrin again. I think he can pull this off. I believe in him, and I want to see him in the playoffs. Ankle Slashers versus Volga Opera. I'm going to give the advantage to the Ankle Slashers due specifically to the very lacking tackle on both of the Norse teams. And with that, I think we wrap up what we're covering for the premiere round 2. We've covered a couple match days. We looked at the teams. We gave a nod to our sponsors, in case you didn't see it earlier. Spike TV just did it. Nesquig, blocking Dodger, Scavenger. What does that say? What does that say? Power and performance, baby. Yep. And of course, our original sponsor, McBirdies. Yep. Best food on the planet. Keep your ogres going all game long. And with that, we're going to send it off back to Cadet. Thank you for your time, guys. I appreciate you coming out and giving us a watch. And hey, let's see who makes it to match day 3. Remember, pandas never lose. We only win less.
Wow, Panda, that looks like a great division to cast. On a side note, Elves do not do so well in the MCC, and we don't mention McMurray's anymore because they don't pay us for commercials. Anyway, let's go ahead and go to Ace in the Kord division.
Welcome back to Bbpn, where we cover Blood Bowl that no one else will, and we are finally done with Season 11, Round 1 for the Kord Division. 6 teams are moving on, 2 teams are sadly not. So let's go ahead, look at our leaderboard, look at the last 2 days, and see who is moving on. So, moving on, in first place is the Tackling Tunes of Placebo, or Placebo, however you want to pronounce that, with 5-2-0, undefeated technically all throughout the entire round 1. Corderus coming in at 5-0-2 with the Bretts. Panda figuring out how to play Wood Elves with 4-0-3 at third. Fourth is the Lizards of Vort at 3-2-2. Orcs, Miss Dr. Helix 3-1-3, and the Dark Elves edging it out at 2-0-5, coming in at 6. Sadly, we do have to say goodbye to Storn and Kallisti with the Ogres and the Skaven. Let's go ahead and look at day 6 and 7 and see how they've matched up and then look at the teams. So we got the Orcs beating the Bretonnians 3-1. The Dwarves with a 2-0 victory over the Dark Elves. Kallisti only being able to somehow tie against Ogres with the Rats, and the Woodies getting a 1-0 win over the Lizards. Final match day, we have the Orcs beating the Skaven 1-0. The Dwarves handing Panda a loss at 2-1. The Pegasus Knights Bretonnians with a 3-0 victory over the Lizards. And the Dark Elves finish with a 1-0 win over the Ogres. So, we're going to go ahead and look at our number 1 team, the Tackling Tunes Placebo. And yeah, you're seeing that right. 1, 2, 3 level 3s, a block, tackle, runner. He does have a stand for Mighty Blow, guard, wrestle, and guard. The Troll Slayer still not leveled up and still with only 1. But for one round, for only 7 games, this is an amazingly well-developed dwarf team. He has gotten so much SSP. I believe if you total it all up, he has 21. Let's see. So that right there alone is 50 something. I mean, it's nearly 70 SSP on all these players through 7 games, averaging probably around 10 a game. That is just a really great development. So no shocker he won the round. And I can see him probably winning round 2 wherever he does go. Second place, we have the Pegasus Knights from Corderus. You see, pretty deep bench here. It's not a lot of levels, surprisingly, but the 3 players that are leveled are the ones that are the most important, which are his blitzers. All Blodge, Sidestep, Sure Hands, and 2 AG4 blitzers, so he could pull some really big elf bullshit and just control a pitch, which is just ridiculous. Does have guard to help, kick to control, and a niggled lineman, but I mean, he's a 14 deep bench. He's probably fouling a shit ton, so he's probably there just as a foul piece. Number 3 was Angry Pandas. Cadet found my bike. The Wood Elves. Now, the Dwarves did kind of lay into him, though Placebo, I'm very disappointed. You didn't kill the War Dancers. You failed as a dwarf. These aren't dead. Why? But tackle, strip ball, and tackle War Dancer. Catcher with movement and guard, so he is a 1-turn touchdown threat, I believe. Dodge on a lineman. Movement down here. Whatever, he's a lineman. He's there to get hit. Kick. A catcher with a movement down, but still movement 7. That's still pretty really good. And a guard for a little bit more support. Not a lot of skills to speak of, but the two most important are leveled to the point where they're strong in almost any position. He has 2 guard pieces to help, and enough elves to take the punishment as it is. So, we'll see how he fares in round 2. Round 4, we have the Atomic Lizard Boogie by Vort. And you are seeing one very big problem off the bat. 1 block source going in round 2. That is really dangerous, because now 1 and 9 is going to be the bane of this team. He does have Stand Firm Guard on the Crocs, so anything that he's based on, good luck moving him. And he does have a Skink with Sprint Agility 4, so that thing is just going to go everywhere. But opted to not take block on any of the Skinks, so they're not 100% invulnerable, as Blodge would be so helpful, as so many teams are going to have block by this point, hopefully. And so now, instead of just a 1 in 6 chance of these Skinks getting knocked out, you're now looking at 1 in 3. Next up, we have the Greenbacks. Dr. Helix, he has a level pending on his Black Orc, which is probably going to be block. A thrower, AG4 thrower with an AV down. Oh, that hurts. So much value in this guy, being a great thrower, throws it anywhere he needs it to. But AV7, he is now a massive target, and his main ball carrier can be taken out pretty easily. A Blitzer with strength up, so he basically has 5 of the Black Orcs, except this one already comes with block inherent. Mighty Blow and tackle, so removal and dodge deal with any of those dodgy pieces. Tackle probably as more as a ball hawk, and guard to help, which really comes in handy seeing that he has nothing on these Black Orcs. But we'll see if he takes guard maybe here to help control that front line more. But he's going to need a few more skills, I think, if he's going to really get through round 2. And the final team that made it, the Dark Elves of Tasrin. And you can see he is pretty beat up. He has a Niggle lineman, a Blitzer, which is just my next game, and a Blitzer with movement down. He does have Blodge on the Witch Elf. He has guard on the Blitzer. He has an AG5 lineman, which is just stupid. Kick and guard. So he has 2 guard to help kind of control some scrums. But if he goes up against like dwarves that have a crap ton of guard or something, it's not going to mean much. Only 1 blodger, so everyone is still going to be hittable. And the Witch Elf is still a main target for fouling with that AV7. So I feel like he needs to maybe get a little bit more guard, some pass skills maybe on the linemans. And just run circles around whoever he plays. But he is getting pretty beat up at the very last stretch here. But we'll see how he does in round 2. But that is the core division for round 1. We shall see round 2 here in a few days, as everyone is still accepting their tickets. And I'll see you guys on the flip side. And remember, this has been Ace, your local heretic. And I'm reminding you, spill blood for the Blood God and gather skulls for the Skull Throne. I'll see you next time.
Ace, the helpful place.
Great job covering the division, Ace. And may I add that your mic sounds wonderful. I just wanted to put that. It sounds wonderful. Okay, so let's go over to Scar in the CDT and see who has randomly died this time.
Yeah, I know this is way late. Look, I got a lot to do this week, and we got a lot to cover, so let's skip the beginning skit and just move on to the hard stuff. I am Scar, your resident Dark Knight of the Void, here to give you the final rundown of the CDT. We'll start with the remaining games and how they ended up, then we'll move on to the final leaderboard to see who made it and who didn't, and finally, we'll have one last look at the teams before they're shuffled in round 2. We got quite a bit to go through and very little time to do it, so let's get started. Alright, to finish up day 5, we have the Rat's Own Nymph getting a 2-1 concession from Ogre Rated. So, that happened. Now, starting off at the top of day 6, we have the Rat's Own Nymph beating my Vengeful Apothecaries 3-1 in a rather humiliating display of failure on my part. Next up, it was the Battle of the Vertically Challenged, with Ogre Rated and NATTS Referees Guild tying 1-1. With the only big disappointment in this game had to be the number of deaths. Next up, Rockers of Legends Past managed to beat Volga Opera 2-0. And the added salt of the only death in the team getting MVP for the Volga Opera. That has got to hurt. And to finish up day 6, we have Wogs Cooking beating Billis Slick's Army 2-1. Really seems like our little human team's having some trouble after their amazing start. And starting off at the top of the final day, we have the Rat's Own Nymph running away with a victory against Rockers of Legends Past 4-1. Not a very surprising score, considering it's a developed Skaven team. Next up, we have Ogre Rated destroying Billis Slick's Army 4-0 in what had to be a massive nuffling on behalf of the human team. Great job, Ogre Rated, but I don't think it's gonna save you. Next up, we have Wogs Cooking beating my Vengeful Apothecaries 1-0. And don't worry, my worthless peasants have been henceforth blamed and beaten half to death in retribution for this. And finally, we have Volga Opera beating the NATTS Referees Guild 2-0. This really has not been the Goblins' best season so far. Nuffle has just been really extreme this season. Alright, let's take a look at the leaderboard and see who made it. In first place, we have the Rat's Own Nymph by Lando the Gambler with a 5-1-1 record. Very impressive. In second place, we have Volga Opera by Defo with a 5-0-2 record. In third place, we have Wogs Cooking by Goat Boy with a 4-2-1 record. And then it's my Vengeful Apothecaries with a 3-0-4 record. Quite humiliating, but I still made it. In fifth place, we have Billis Slick's Army by Hikaru with a 3-0-4 record as well. Then, for the Hooligan Division in 6th, we have Rockers of Legends Past by Ace Pilot with a 2-1-4 record. But that means the NATTS Referees Guild by Descum and Ogre Rated by Kamyarik are both eliminated. Alright, let's take a look at the teams. Starting at number 1, the Rat's Own Nymph, coached by Lando the Gambler. It seems like he has one thrower with +1 movement. He has 2 Storm Vermin, one with Mighty Blow, giving him a kill piece, and one with a more supportive role with Guard and Tackle. Then he has 4 Strong Gutter Runners, one the hero of the team, with Big Hand and Block, another one with just Block, then 2 Support Gutter Runners with Wrestle, one with Horns, making him a great blitzer. and then 4 linemen just basically to die on the pitch. With 3 team rerolls, an apothecary, and 5 fan factor, this team seems to be in pretty good shape for the next round. Next up in second place, we have the Volga Opera, coached by Defo97. He has 2 Berserkers, one with Mighty Blow, being the resident kill piece. We have 2 runners, one going for a support role with Guard, another one being an amazing ball carrier with a +1 to agility. He has 2 wolf vendors, one with the all-important Guard, the other one trying to catch up. 2 throwers with no level ups, and 3 linemen, one with +1 strength and tackle, and the other one with an injury. It's a niggle that's gonna hurt later. 3 team rerolls, an apothecary, and 6 fan factor. Not bad, but it is clear that this guy has gone through the grinder and needs a little more oomph in their team if they want to make it. And in third place we have Wogs Cooking, coached by Goat Boy. They have 1 green thrower after he died last time, 4 blitzers, 3 of them with tackle, and 1 of them going the extra mile with guard, and 4 black orcs, 2 of them with block, and finally a lineman with an injury, and it's another niggler. He's probably going to get fired. And 3 team rerolls, an apothecary, and 6 fan factor. It's not the most developed team we've seen, but orcs don't need a lot of level ups to be dangerous. Next up, in 4th place, it's the Vengeful Apothecaries, coached by Moi. And I have 3 blitzers, all with dodge, and another one with sure hands. I have 4 blockers, 1 with guard, and the resident ball hog with strip ball and stand firm. And a ton of linemen, 1 with kick, but a -1 to movement. As soon as I get a decent replacement, he's probably going to be gone. With 3 team rerolls, 1 apothecary, but only 2 fan factor, it's going to be a bit of an uphill battle, especially considering I have no tackle yet. We'll just have to see if my luck turns around. Alright, next up in 5th place, we have Billis Slick's Army, coached by Hikaru. They have 1 ogre with guard, 4 blitzers, 3 of them with guard, 1 with +1 strength, but 1 with -2 agility. That may be a big deal. He also has a green catcher and a green thrower to replace prior deaths, and 3 linemen, 1 with a +1 to movement and a +1 to agility. Very impressive piece. We also have a lineman with kick, and 1 final lineman going for a support role with everything else with guard, but -1 to movement allowance. With 3 team rerolls, 1 apothecary, and 3 fan factor, it kinda seems like the beginning luck of this team has run out, so we're gonna have to wait and see how well they do in the second round. And finally, going into the Hooligan Division at 6th place, it's Rockers of Legends Past, coached by Ace Pilot. 2 relatively new Flesh Golems, 2 Rights, both with Mighty Blow and another with Tackle. But it seems like 1 has a minus to armor value, very devastating. And the other one, it's just a mixed next game, it'll be fine. We also have 2 werewolves, 1 with +1 agility, making him quite terrifying, and another one with a niggling injury, I'm assuming +1 to future injuries. Then he has a ton of zombies, 1 with that all-important kick, another one with another injury, a +1 to future injury rolls. Will probably get fired considering how deep his bench is, but you never know. And then he has a ghoul with that really important barrage. With 2 team rerolls, 3 fan factor, and 2 coach assistant, 2 cheerleaders. This isn't a bad run, but all the injuries does make me a little concerned for the future of this team. Well, that's all for now. A lot of tough breaks and hard times for a lot of these teams, but the pressure is only going to continue to get more intense from here on out. Next time, we get to meet the new teams and how they're doing in round 2. But until then, it's back to you, Cadet. Now, if you excuse me, I have about 4 things that I have to do and about a dozen things I want to do.
Another great cast from our resident from the Void, Scar. Just want to mention that the word eliminated, that's a really strong word to use in round 1. Let's just call them hooligan-ated. That's what we'll go with. And speaking of hooligan-ated, let's go see who was fortunate or maybe unfortunate enough to make the Hooligan Division, with the leader of the Hooligans himself, the Scum, in VGP's Hooligan Division.
So there you are, lads. You made it. It's Hooligan Division time, the moment you've all been waiting for. So, without further ado, my congratulations. Yes, it was a tough season, the season of the array. You're here. This is your second chance. It's going to be balls to the walls, lad. So, without further ado, was that ado? How about a couple of drinks? That's a good plan. And let's start showing you who the teams are coming up. Right, there you are, lads. That's your first one who made it in. Behold, she's just my stepdaughter. Yes, there you go. Necro team, Sancho, has made it in. And he's about to discover how fun the Hooligan Division. So let's take a look at this particular team here. As you can see, he's got the basic 12. He's got 3 rerolls. He's gotten 3 fee factor. Of course, he's got the fear factor. There's a good term for it, isn't it? And let's see how the team developed here. Well, as you can see, he's only got the 1 werewolf, but he has brought in the new one, because this is how his season went. Early death had to bring one back. He's getting back to work. He's even scored a touchdown. As you can see here, the ghoul. And yes, as you're looking here, it's just the 1. So you can tell what happened every time this was knocked out. All kinds of problems started at that point here. He's got the Shaw, and he's looking his way for the second skill, probably becoming Blodge. He'd love to have an AG increase. Even a strength increase wouldn't be too bad. He's got the 2 whites, as you can see. He's having to start re-engineering them from scratch. They've barely started. And then here's the flesh golems. This is his big strength so far, as you can see here. Block, block. And then, of course, it's the zombies. He's got the kick. This is a good skill to have, especially in the Hooligan Division. Should do him all kinds of great and wonderful favours. So, what was his statistics? As you can see there, 1 win, 2 draws, 4 losses. It was a tough run. First round, he had to fight tooth and nail in what was a particularly crazy division. But guess what, lad? You're in the Hooligan Division. This is your second chance time. Don't waste it. Go, run with that football, and have yourself a great time. Hopefully Nuffle will bless your dice as it goes on. Let's go check in there with my fellow caster, of course, here. What's your opinion of this team? Yeah, they should be pretty fairly entertaining. I completely agree. Alright, let's go on, and we'll see who the second team is. Oh, God, this team. This is what we'd say, absolute glutton for punishment. This was a Wood Elf team that just had the most bloody awful drive. But guess what, lad? You're here. You're in the Hooligan Division. It doesn't matter. You got here. That's all that matters. Boy, slightly taller halflings. Let's take a look what's left of this roster. And everyone can see this was a cruel season for them here. He's got a cheerleader. He's even got an assistant coach. One fan factor. He's finally got the apothecary bubble. One reroll. One reroll. That's all this team's got. Take a look at how bloody and messed up this team has gotten here. He's got a surviving thrower. This is a team of survivors. It really is. Look at the linemen. There's all 5 linemen left, but this is where he's been absolutely crippled. He's down to 1 war dancer, starting from scratch again. He's lost everything trying to get here. He came in with the experiment of having, go figure, a couple of extra catches. Well, it survived, one of them at least, but that's pretty bloody grim, isn't it? So, let's take a look a bit more at the history there. He did get 2 wins. It's amazing what a Wood Elf team can really do. But it's the 5 losses and the number of casualties he took during the season. What can this team actually do, though? See, this is where it's going to get interesting. He's coming in, he's only TV 900. That's pretty brutal. So it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I'm counting it for you here. You think it's a Kallisti team? I'm getting to that one. 8 players. That's all he's got left. 1 reroll. He's going to be every single game, and this is the problem with Wood Elves. Look at the expense of the lineman, 70k. This is what's giving him problems. He's having to spend literally every game 210 TV just to fill out his roster. So he's not exactly having a good day of it, so to speak. But you know what? They're Wood Elves. As has been proven, they can perform magic. And we know this coach. The reason why this coach is here, because, never give up, never surrender. And any given Sunday, a Wood Elf can do some pretty extraordinary things. He's just going to need a bit of luck to come his way. So, can the slightly taller halflings get out of the Hooligan Division? That's a really crazy question, isn't it? I don't know. Let's go asking over there. What is our assistant commentator consider about this one? Yeah, pretty much sums it up. But you know what? You could try it. Yeah, you definitely could try it. Well, let's give you the best of luck there. Nuffle, bless your dice. Let's see if you make it, lad. Alright, let's see who's coming up next. And yeah, there you go. It's an ogre team, but not the one you expected to be. Yeah, believe it or not, there's another one. Prawns Ponds. And boy, oh boy, did they have an interesting season here. So, let's take a gander at how this team actually performed here. Let's take a look at the roster here. 3 rerolls. He's got the apothecary, nice that. He's in 3 failing factor here. And let's look at the basic roster he's got here. Now, he has had one of his ogres incredibly beat up. You can see that not once, twice. 2 movement decreases. That's bloody amazing. He's still there, and he's still doing his job. He just holds the line, and that's all he bloody does. But you can see here, he has started building up some rather impressive skills. He has passed there. He has one with the guard, and this is the star here. Got his double, so he's got the block, he's got the break tackle. This is the one that makes the plays happen. And then let's look at the snotlings. Well, you can see here, he's got the one here, he's got the catch, he's got the one that's the sneaky get, and here's the funny one here, it's got jump up. So you can do all kinds of crazy things with this one, including even throwing this one down the field, crash landing, and then he immediately gets back up and starts running. Provided he actually survives the landing. And yeah, this team can do some crazy things. Now, look at how this season went here. 1 win, 2 draws, 4 losses. It was definitely one of those crazy seasons for this particular team. Those of you who watch the cast notice, he's got a very different style. He's trying to make it his style, and he's learning. But this is actually one of the other interesting things here, getting all beat up here. But he's managed to keep a few core snotlings alive here. But it's not much of a team, is it? He doesn't have the massive reserves we used to see. And look at the TV here, 1330. But this is the interesting part here. 190k he came in with. So, how can he perform? Well, he might be able to do some really interesting things. But he's going to, if he wants to get out of the Illegal Division, let's face it, he's going to have to up his game. He's going to have to come up with new techniques and new ways to beat his opponents. So, what's my commentator got to say about that one? You got nothing? Okay, fine, he's got nothing. So, we'll see how he does. Nuffle, bless your dice, and let's go on to team number 4. Well, we had to give it a wee bit of fanfare. Yeah, here's a team that, honestly, the way it went, he didn't think he was going to make it. Well, congratulations, lad. You finally made it among the promised few. You're in the Illegal Division. Well done, the Rotten Cottons are here. Team value, they're down to 1940, 130k you've left in the bank. But what's he going to do with it? Because, well, as you can see, well, there's dying, and then there's this team. So let's take a look at what's actually left of the team. And good lord, the slaughter has been intense. He went in, he decided to go with the 4 gutter runners. He's got what's left of the linemen. He's got 1 thrower left. There's no storm vermin left. He's probably going to have to replace that right off the bat. He's got 3 rerolls. He's got an apothecary for the fat bugger all good that did. And of course 2 fan factor. But taking a look at the gutter runners, they've been working their bloody tails off. As you can see, he's got the one here that is got strip ball and wrestle. He's the man to go get the ball. And then, of course, he's got the other one here. This one's taking an AV discrease. This one's got a niggler. But they're both blodgers. He can't get rid of them because, well, frankly, everything else is dying on this bloody team. And if you take a look at his record there, 1 win, 1 draw, 5 losses. He started off so bloody promising. No, really, the team started off promising. But then it seems to be the curse that happens to this coach insistently happened once again. And the death started. It's almost like it's a new record. But that's what he's got left. This is what's got to do it. But can they do it? Taking a look at the Illegal Division, he might be in the right spot finally because, oh yeah, he can probably get the living crap kicked out of him because what we already see is a Necro team. There's an Ogre team. And there's more punishment to be abounds. But these are great ball hawks. They're incredibly fast. If he can just find a way to get to the ball, he can do some pretty wonders. And definitely, true to heart, there's scoring and there's Kallisti scoring, and we've seen what he's done. So here he is. Is this the team that just might be the big surprise? Well, what's the commentator got to say about that one? Yeah, they can do it. He absolutely thinks they can do it. So, behold, that's what's left of them. Destroyed, battered, and you might want to do something about this here, Kallisti, because otherwise I'm immediately going to charge you with another death. Anyway, Nuffle, bless your dice, and let's see who comes up as team number 5. Yeah, no surprise. There they are. Yep, the Referees Guild somehow found a way to convince themselves and the league. Yep, they had to go into the Illegal Division. They shouldn't have even been here. Well, that's been one of those seasons too. Only 900 team value. It's pretty crazy what they've been through. Let's take a look at the roster. Now, as you can see here, they actually do have a surprisingly 14 roster, but you can see they're already going in with 2 more missing players. They got an AV down, they've got a miss next game. This has been brutal. It's absolutely a terrible season. Only got the 2 rerolls. They've got no apothecary. 7 games, they haven't gotten a bloody apothecary. But they do have 5 fan factor, and that's a weird one. And this is the weirdest thing they've got. Yeah, they actually have possession of the Bbpn broadcast booth, including a Knuffles altar. That's the only big difference they've got. Of course, what happened to them this season? They played 1 game. 1! In their home stadium. The other 6 all away games, and that kind of made all the difference. They've still got 60k. What they do with it, well, who knows? He might actually decide to actually buy the fucking apothecary, finally. So let's take a look here. After a brilliant start, well, they've had troubles here. The Trolls have been plagued by, as the dice showed, 1 in 3. Really stupid for the rest of the season. It's a 1 in 6, right? Well, apparently not according to this team. And they've even got a movement increase. Of course, Be Friendly's not really moving too much. Meanwhile, as for the rest of the skills, well, he's finally got the money blowing the ball and chain. That might make a difference as game go on. As you can see, now this is the pogo stick that's been devastating. He's got a catch and a movement upgrade. After that, all he's got there is sidestep on 1 goblin. Well, the players that's out, well, he's got sneaky get. Well, this team's been notorious for fouling here. And of course, he's got another cripple here. But maybe that's the big thing this team's really gone here. It's the 980 team value. They've got a low TV going into this division here. And can they actually potentially do something? Well, let's look at their stats here. 1 win. 3 draws, so they did, despite all their bad luck, make a hell of a fight of it numerous times. And of course, 3 losses. It's been one of those seasons for this particular team here. It's not as successful as the other Goblin team, and they tried their darndest best. But what do you do when the dice are against you? Well, you end up in the Hooligan division sometimes, and that's when your second chances. So this is going to be the team that's going to put everything to the walls to see if they can actually make it. Can they actually do it? Oh, that's a really good question here. I wonder what the commentators actually got to say about this one. Yeah, that's pretty much what it's going to be. Lots and lots of bribes, make it rain, and they're going to be back to fouling as usual again. Well, that's your referees guild this season. So, we'll see how they do. And let's come up. We're going to be showing you finally the last team. Boy, you've been looking forward to this one here, lad. Nuffle. Well, bless my dice for a bloody change, will you? Yeah, you got it. Yeah, he made it. He found a way. All the way back. Yeah, Yorick has returned to the Hooligan division, properly where he belongs. What an incredible journey it was. 5 straight losses to start the season, and then it began. First, he gets finally his first draw, and then he smells the blood in the water. Or at least he smelled something alright. And there they are. They get the big win when they need it. The most incredible game he's probably ever played of his life. And then it is putting on a click. Let's looking at the team there. 4 rerolls. This was the big gamble he started with this season. It took to the end of the season. It finally paid off. Having the 4 rerolls. He's got the apothecary early. He's got 2 fan factor. That's fine. Big massive TV. But he's got a huge amount of cash right now. He's ready to just flush this out, having a full stock of snotlings. He can do it. Definitely. So let's take a look what he's got here. This is how incredible this team actually is. Now, look what he's got here. He's got the 5th Ogre down here, if you're wondering. This is the incredible one. Mammoth Morgue. Yeah. Strength upgrade. Break tackle. This is the man who can make anything happen. If he ever gets the ball, you never see him again. Lots of luck taking him down. Even Dauntless is going to take him. You know, look at the snotlings here. He's got quite the crazy collection of skills all the way up here. From jump up. And he's got a whole pile of catch. And as you can see in the last cast, the final game of the CDT division, just the incredible craziness he was able to pull off there. Again, it's because he's got the 4 rerolls. You can see it there, all the last 2 games. And that's what got him in. Sure, it's a horrible start, but then there he is. And as everyone would say, face it, anytime Yorick actually gets in the Illigan division, it's a whole new ball game. Suddenly it's a brand new season to him, and we've seen him do it time and again, pulling magic out of anything on this team. This is just going to be crazy, isn't it? Well, what's the rest of the cast to say on that one? Oh yeah, the excitement's absolutely palatable. He's here, he's home. So that's it for your Illigan division. Everyone, bravo for making it. Nuffle, bless your dice.
What happened to my intro? People were supposed to be sad and depressed that they're in the hooligan division, and now I see all this happy dancing. Well, to be realistic, I'm happy being there too. Always wanted to be in the hooligan division. I just didn't have a team as terrible as my elves to be in it. Okay, so, anyway. That's it for Bbpn. What? What do you mean, what happened to VGP round 1 roundup? Oh, well, it's currently under investigation, and you guys know you're not allowed to talk about stuff underneath investigations. It's against the rules. It just is. So anyway, that's it. I'm Cadet Tank saying, sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, but never bet against me.